Hi, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Yang, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that presenting problem. Now, when a client comes to see us for the first time, we may not have the diagnosis. We may not have a clue as to what's going on with this client. That's why the assessment document is so important. Now, that assessment document does ask questions about past psychosocial history, past psychological, mental health history. If other members of the family has a mental illness, it will ask the client about past drug use, alcohol use, lots of information about the client, the family, and what's going on with that client right now. So we take all of that information and a master's level clinician, it could be a licensed clinical professional counselor, a licensed social worker, a psychologist, or a psychiatrist, will give the client the diagnosis. If the case manager does the intake, the case manager is responsible for documenting clearly everything that occurred during that intake or during that assessment. It's very important that the case manager or the counselor or the therapist, because they can also do that intake session, focuses on the questions in that document because each question in that document is there for a reason. And that document is what the professional uses to come up with the, the diagnosis for the client. So, say for example, a client comes in and they may say, my mood is sometimes I feel really, really happy, sometimes I feel sad and down, and I don't know why. There are times when I just want to spend a whole lot of money. Last year, I remember when I could stay up for 2 days without any sleep. So, well, why are you here today? What's going on today? Well, I felt really, really sad for the last 3 months. And then I just had a lot of energy over the last week, and I wasn't tired, and I just didn't feel like going to sleep or going to bed. I just had all of this energy. Well, you've already figured out that this sounds like bipolar disorder. We don't know if it's bipolar 1, we don't know if it's bipolar 2, but when the licensed professional, that is the counselor, the social worker, the psychologist, or the psychiatrist, receives this information, they may have another interview with the client and the diagnosis will be made. So there's more than one way to look at the presenting problem. As I mentioned before, when we have that diagnosis, it makes our job a lot easier, unless that diagnosis is wrong, like for Jason. But we had his case file, and it was clearly stated in the case file that he had that history of substance abuse, in particular heroin use. That's all for now, and I hope this has been helpful. Bye for now.